All right, how's it going, everybody? My name is Trey Cockrum, and in this video, what I'm going to do is essentially break down a case study of a client who's in our Kaizen Mastermind group, and I'm going to talk about how we took them from 15 to 20 grand a month to his first $20,000 day and pacing their first six-figure month this fiscal 30 days here in less than 45 days at a 10x cash return on advertising, so approximately a 70% profit margin. And it might be a little bit longer than 45 days, but quite frankly, I'm not really counting them exactly. Maybe more like 60 to be completely fair. And this is without any bro sales, any hype, motivational pep talks like you get in a lot of mastermind groups and stuff, or waste of time sales calls. It's just very matter of fact, taking a very objective look at their business and looking for the solutions. And you can see here some proof. You can see 20 grand a day, 4 back-to-back closes, and $8,000 paid in full today. And you can see him stating his cash returns, 14.4x cash on cash returns on his ads. So who is this case study for? Let me start with this. This is probably helpful. So it's for high-ticket coaches doing anywhere from 5 to 30 grand a month who are highly motivated to reach seven or multi-seven figures this year. There's going to be a lot of really good lessons in here for you and a lot of value, okay? This is also really for coaches who are familiar with ads but can't get them profitable. There's a couple key principles that I'll get to at the very end of this case study that I think will help you, make ads work for your particular business, okay? And then there's also for coaches who have never run ads before. A lot of coaches are purely organic, and you can scale to 6 figures a month with purely organic, and I have. In the past, I was completely organic with my business, and my best months completely organic with literally no ads were 150, 200 grand a month. So it's completely doable. But you also kind of burn out making all that content. Next is for proven offers with great results and just looking for a decent roadmap to scaling. Okay, this is also for you. And then, quite frankly, if you're tired of washed up coaches who coach coaches who just repurpose the same information and have no original strategies or thoughts, which is a lot of people on the market right now. All right, so let's get into it. So, first of all, what's this person's niche? Well, they help software engineers get better jobs, and they'd probably word it differently, but that's how I saw it. And their offer is an $8,000 program that teaches them better strategies to apply and get jobs, basically. And the client is Alex, who's the primary owner, and then Seth, who plays a bunch of different roles. And they played a key role in being able to be an appointment setter in this particular situation. And if you ever wanted us to set up the strategy, we can source an appointment setter for you. So just as a note. In the previous situation, though, they were using an Instagram page strategy and ads to a VSL funnel, and they were doing 1.5x cash returns and bringing in like 20 grand a month. So like almost no profit left over, like 3 or 4 grand a month in profit. And they also were at a 10% closing rate on live calls, if I remember correctly. So really not a good situation. Having to work very, very hard for very little yield. And they knew that their offer was good, though. And they knew that there was a market for this, but they were just, quite frankly, when Alex booked his call with me, he came out of the call, and I could just tell he was really burnt out. And so, and you could just kind of tell, you know what I mean? Some people are just tired, and this guy was definitely that. And it's not his fault. I just think he was being consulted from the wrong vantage point. So here's the core problem we identified in the mastermind, okay? Basically, his messaging just wasn't believable or compelling. So everything was there. When I say everything, most of the offer. I would say the offer was there, but his mechanism wasn't unique or different or believable. So a mechanism is basically the meat of your strategy. So basically, in marketing, you got to get people to believe in your mechanism, and then you can get them to believe in you, and then you get them to believe in your program or product, and then they'll buy. So his mechanism was basically just show people what he did to get the job, which isn't like believable because he's asking strangers to believe in him. Does that make sense? So what we did was really created a new mechanism. And the mechanism, I believe, is called software apprenticing, which feels way more believable. And basically we're saying, look, if you apprentice under people, inevitably you get a job. And that is very true, and that's what he did. But he just wasn't positioning it like that, and because of that, he couldn't bring people into his business. This is also, by the way, one of the core problems that we solve for all kinds of businesses, and that I love solving. So because everything was there, his mechanism wasn't unique. Everything was there like an offer, but his mechanism wasn't unique, different, or believable. And the messaging took a long time to get to the core meat of the message. His unique mechanism or core of his strategy wasn't believable, and his closing and sales needed sharpened up. Their funnel was also very detailed. It wasn't inspiring enough for his high-tier B2C market to respond. So when I say high-tier B2C, I mean like B2C, but they're still making money. Like it's not like B2C like they're broke and they need a vehicle. It's more like B2C making 80 to 100 grand a year, but they want to make like 200 to 300 grand a year. You know what I mean? And so those sorts of people, they need a good mix of logic and emotion. And he was just like all logic and explaining a lot. So this meant that revenue ceiling that they were experiencing, 20 grand a month and a closing rate of 10% on live calls. So here's the solution process that we walked down. So first of all, I just took the time to consult on his messaging. So in our group calls in Kaizen, you can literally, if you open this doc, you can check them out. So you can literally see the calls where I'm consulting him. And quite frankly, this is for you if you are serious about getting help and joining a 7-figure mastermind group or even an 8-figure mastermind group. We've had some 8-figure students come out of this group. So in this call, we're really just diving deep into like mechanisms, and Alex was on this call, and it was one of the core calls that helped him have the success he's had. And then another call here where we're literally, you can see us live mapping his VSL. And this is the sort of treatment that you'll get if you join Kaizen. So we're literally, these are the slides he's using and everything. So we're literally just mapping it out, which was a lot of fun. So you can see us doing that. So the old messaging, like I said, was lengthy and over-detailed. It was unbelievable. And like most people who are true experts, explained instead of inspired. So it did not create the desire that needed to be created and left prospects with more questions than desires, okay? And once we cleaned that up and it was working, we moved to traffic channels. So instead of ads right to the VSL, we launched direct messenger ads where we link the VSL in the DM instead of ads right to the VSL. Now, why would we do this? Well, I explain right here. So DM ads allow for prospects to interact with the business or brand and make the VSL stick more, meaning they're more likely to consume the whole content, and it allows for the ability to personalize the call to action to book a call for their particular situation. This leads to higher nurtured meetings, better show-ups, more intent, and just better sales interactions, right? So really a very powerful shift here. So, ads right to a VSL is great if you're wanting to do like $1 million a month, and you really got to nail it. You have to absolutely nail it. It has to be so believable. And everybody who watches this, the only reason why somebody wouldn't book a call is because they have massive personal life change coming up and they're just not ready to make it because they're about to they're going through a divorce or something, that's how good your VSL needs to be. It needs to be extremely compelling. And then that can get you $1 million a month. But you can have a half decent VSL, and because your DM conversations allow you to kind of maneuver and have some more interaction and customize things to their particular situation, it feels like it's more like for them, right? And I talk about that in the key principles at play here at the very end of this case study here, right? This leads to better show up, more intent, and better sales interactions. The result is their first ever $20,000 cash day yesterday, and now I don't think it's very arrogant of me to say they're now doing 70 to 100 grand a month, because honestly, they had an 8 grand day 3 days ago, 20 grand day yesterday. So, they're doing at least this, okay? So let's talk about the key principles at play here. We're in a marketplace with a lot of pain and a lot of desire, so a lot of gap, okay? If you don't have a lot of gap, it's going to be really, really hard to succeed. So you got to find a market with a lot of gap. It's people with real pains or real desires, and they don't know how to reach them, they don't know how to solve them, okay? So that is at play here. And then the next is we moved from ads to a funnel to ads to a conversation to a funnel, which is really scaling the human element. And the human element is really what creates trust, and trust is what creates open and honest sales environments. So if somebody feels like they're in your process, they're not going to open up, and they're not going to allow you to close them. Whoops. Let me turn on my video here and finish up this. They're not going to allow you to close them. So that's the problem with a lot of funnels, is it feels, unless you absolutely nail your pain call-outs, you create an emotional connection to somebody really quickly, and your mechanism and your offer and your process feels extremely believable, and then your offer makes a ton of sense too. All of that's there, which is, it can be very difficult to nail that if you haven't studied copywriting at length. Then this is the best way to go. And his explainer video, I think, is 10 minutes long, 8 minutes long, something short. You just link it, have a couple questions answered. Some people book right off of the video right then and there. Other people, they watch the video, come back to the DM, ask some questions. And this is actually something that we're doing in my other offer right now, and it is working very, very well. We get very high intent show ups on these meetings. And because of that, and you can scale that as far as you want. Like DM ads scale like any other ads. You can scale DM ads to a really good friend of mine, who I won't mention his name, but he does about $600,000 to $700,000 a month, and he spends about $150,000 a month on just DM ads. And so they work very, very well. Somebody DMs you, you diagnose the situation, get to know them a little bit, say, hey, I've got something that could help you based on these things that you've shared with me. Do you want me to link it? They say yes, you link the VSL. So instead of the VSL being something that they clicked on and they just checked out, like it's just a link they clicked online, it's more like, hey, this is for me. And they consume it, and then they book a call. So look, guys, I mean, I'll be very forward. If you're doing 10, maybe 5, 10, 20, 30 grand a month, maybe even 50 grand a month, and you want to get to 100, 250, or even 500 grand a month, Alex has the goal of getting to 500 grand a month with me. Book a call using the link in the description. I don't expect you to make a decision on that first call by any means. But I do at least expect you to be honest about your situation and your goals and everything. And if it's a good fit, we can set up a game plan to get started with Kaizen in the future. Or, we can just get to know each other, see if it's a good fit. Either way, you lose nothing by spending some time with myself. Use the link beneath this video. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's in the description. Watching this somewhere else, it should be beneath this video. It'll be myself. I don't have, closers or salespeople. It's just me, okay? So, yeah, you can take that next step, and I'll speak with you there. Hopefully this is a valuable case study for you and a helpful breakdown of how to scale your business, and maybe you pulled some lessons away from this. Thanks for watching.